nice piece of briar, and it came with your choice of a tamper. So the tamper, of course, ends up being pretty close to what the stem is. And of course, while I was there, I also picked up a Murph sculptured pipe, and these pipes are definitely sculptures. This one is called Screwed Up, and it's got some mono briar in it, but just a really cool little pipe. And I'll probably smoke some Ken Byron's golf series, the For Glory. That's what this one is, and this is a pretty good blend. It's Virginia Orientals Dark Fired. That's a mix that I usually like to get, and he had one other that I was interested in. It's called You're Welcome, and it's just matured Virginias. So, but had a great time there. Saw some other members from the virtual pipe club, and we had a blast. And so I'll pass it on to the guy next to me on my screen, Perry.
Oh, thanks, Bud. Today I'm smoking. I popped open a can I found on my shelf that from about 7 years back, an old McClellan's Smyrna number 1, Grand Oriental pipe tobacco. And boy, this stuff is smooth. I'm really enjoying it. Smoking it in a Dunhill Shell Briar Group 6. It's hard to see outside here. It's probably glare going on. It's a limited edition. Came out a few years ago in honor of the late Richard Dunhill, who was the head of the company until he passed away a few years ago at almost 90. Apparently the Group 6 Shell Briar Billiard was his favorite pipe, so they commemorated it with this. And so that's what I'm smoking today. And with that, I'll pass it on to Michael Tan.
Well, good morning. Thank you. So what I'm smoking today is my pre-pipe show Janos pipe. I emailed him beforehand and said, bring this to the show. I want it. He says, get it now. I'll ship it to you. You'll get it before the show. So he is really creative with his design choices. It's really interesting. It's not quite as long as my church orders, but it's a fairly long stem pipe. And I'm smoking Cornell and Deal after some cream in it. So with that, why don't we pass the pipe over to Merrick? Good morning, Merrick.
Oh, good morning to you all. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry, I'm smoking HU tobacco out of Africa. It's an aroma, a very good one with hibiscus flower, apparently. They say so. I mean, it's very sweet, doesn't bite on tongue at all. You know, it's very nice. It's one of 2 aromas that I do smoke. The other one is a Rat Race Bagpiper's Dream. I don't own any other strict aromas at all. And the pipe is a Polish made Marek Parol is the guy who is the one in Poland who makes pipes of clay. And a very interesting thing, the chamber inside is sort of inserted because the outer sort of carvings, they have a double wall, and the pipe doesn't get any heat from inside, and it's very pleasant to smoke, really. Then that's it, really. Thank you. And I'm passing my pipe to Dave in Lux. I think so.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Yeah, I'm smoking a pipe I got at the show. It's a Jeremiah Sandal. It was a kind of a commission, but it's a good size. It's Group 6 Plus with a silver band. And I'm smoking my usual Balkan Supreme. And with that, I'll turn it over to my partner in the show, Brian Levine. See what he's smoking today.
I'm smoking a pipe with tobacco. That's all you know.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Play along now, Brian. You got to play along.
Oh, okay. All right. This is a Jody Davis workhorse, a smooth Saint grade that I surprisingly asked him for about 6 weeks ago, and then 10 days later, he said, "I've got it. I'm ready." And this is actually quickly becoming one of those magical pipes for me, where it just smokes everything, and I'm a little worried because it's a smooth, and that means that I may I may abuse it and want to take it places with me. And then, of course, my usual McClellan's Acadian Ribbon. I'm finishing off the tin that went to Las Vegas with me. So, got another bowl full in there. That's what I'm smoking. Who still has a hand up? Mi amigo del norte, Miguel.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. I am smoking a Sarah Elton smooth with corn and Ampora, Virginia. And after that, I'm smoking a Dunhill 3111 Ruby Bark. And I treat myself 2010 Esoterica Dorchester. And I will pass the Spiritual Pipe Club to Sean.
Thank you. Right now I'm smoking a Vermont Freehand I had some Tashkent, it was a little too dry, and some Samuel Gowitz Brown Bogey, which is always wet as hell. So I mixed them together a couple of days ago, and now it's a little wet, but not that bad. And once I'm done with this, I'll move over to Bengal Slices. I don't know when I'm smoking them yet. And I will pass it on to Glenn.
Hi, Sean. Thank you. Today I'm smoking my favorite Grabo Golden Duke, which again is a magical pipe for me. It seems to burn everything very well. And my fuel for the day is Solani Sweet Mystery, which comes with the disturbing "Pipe tobacco will kill you" on the label. In addition, the artwork for the Solani is a invading fleet of ships attacking an island with naked natives. So it definitely is a sweet mystery. So if you have a Solani tin, take a look at that. It's very weird artwork on this thing, but nonetheless, it's a very good tobacco. So I'll pass it on to Tim.
Thank you, Glenn. Well, today I'm not smoking anything because I've had some dental surgery in September and I'm having implants done and I cannot smoke anything until around Christmas. So I'm holding this moonshine pipe, which I'm pretending to smoke, and it's a really nice. It's a pipe of the year, Bill Shalosky design. And so that's what I'm pretending to smoke today. And hopefully this will resolve by Christmas and I'll be back smoking my pipe, which I really, really miss. And with that, I will pass it on to Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hi. So I was wondering, Tim, if with a pipe in your mouth there earlier, if you actually were back to smoking. So today, kind of pulling the trusty old Mir Viking pipe. And kind of still holding on to summer a little bit. Just this year's Sun Bear. So Mir does well. It's pretty much smokes anything good. Get the flavor nice. This pipe always been a good standby for me. Let's see. Is anybody left, or is that it? Are we back to DDR?
Ray.
Ray, on to you.
Yeah, Ray, come on in there, brother.
Right. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
You can't hear me.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I went to the Vegas Pipe Show there, and I met a couple of the guys from the Virtual Pipe Club, Alvin and Sergio, and he gifted me this panel pipe from Briar Pipes, and I'm smoking a Ken Byron blend, Bright Fleck. So anyway, is there anyone else to pass the pipe to? Or? That it? Can you
I
hear
think
me?
that's it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there. Yeah, Ryan. I hear I'm pushing like 15 buttons at the time there. How do you like that Ken Byron's mixture in your pipe there?
I like
I
it.
like it.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Surprisingly, yeah.
It was
It
nice
was
meeting
nice
Ken
meeting
at the
Ken
show
at the show
too.
too. It was
He's a really nice person. And, but unfortunately, you weren't able to make it.
God.
And all the the different fun that everybody was having, and I was like really, 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 really bummed. So I missed you, and I'm really, God willing, we'll be there next year. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So what am I smoking? Well, in honor of the season, I pulled out my Dracula pipe, obviously,
Yay.
right? And my bone crawler.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
cool.
So this is my Chris Kelly. Whoops, my Chris Kelly bone crawler. It's like all of his stuff are really appropriate for the season, but this one I think was the most appropriate. So in that, I am currently smoking some C&D The Haunting. And should I finish off with that, I have some of The Beast. Again, just appropriate to the season. And then I pulled out this because this one is a little bit of a stretch, but it's the Dark Twist, or the Twisted Dark. Anyway, those are the ones that I thought would go along with this, with tomorrow being, is it tomorrow? No, Monday. Monday being Halloween. All right. Well, we also have some people over there on Facebook and YouTube who were sharing what they were smoking here in and around me, figuring out whether there's any sound going to come out. Let's see. GMCD 86 says BJV straight Dublin with some Samuel Gowith's Cabby's Mix. Love Cabby's Mix. and having a nice Guinness original extra stout. That's what's missing here. Extra stout all around. Anthony's smoking his Peterson Pub Pipe with Bob's Chocolate Flake and a nice pint of Guinness as well. All right, so that's good. All right, off and on with some echo. I'll keep working on it. But while I'm working on that, as you know, the Vegas Pipe Show has just come and gone for this year under brand new leadership, and we've got the guys who took it over and put it on this year here in the meeting with us today, because I really wanted to have a chance to chat with them about the show wrap up. There was such a lot of interest in the lead up to the show, and with some new features that Brian and Dave had planned for bringing into the Vegas Pipe Show, new ideas about how to modernize the pipe show. I'm not going to try to talk about it too much because I want to let them talk about it. But now that the show's over, I thought we'd bring them on and have them tell us all about how it went. And I'm just dying to hear about it. So without any further ado, I'm going to put Brian on the screen first, but I can bring Dave up as well. So Brian, my friend, where are you there? There he
I'm
is.
over here.
There
I'm
he
over
is.
here. There I am.
So how'd it
Scaring
go?
Small children and women.
How did it go there? Tell us the whole story. Once upon a time.
Well,
I'll let Dave share his exciting moment before the show if he wants to. We had some nervous moments the week or so leading up to the show, because we had ordered banners and stuff, and some of the stuff was being shipped to Dave's home in Wisconsin, and then driving there, and then the tote bags and would you believe it? I don't have one of the tote bags right near me. The tote bags, and then the buttons that we used as an admission.
I got a picture of the tote bag.
There's a tote bag right up there. Yeah, show that tote bag. These arrived on Thursday at the Palace Station. So combined with some very nervous moments of, oh God, are we going to get the things we need? And then are they going to look right when they get there? A big sigh of relief went out in my head when the buttons and the bags arrived at the Palace Station, and they looked better than we thought they were going to. So that was very nice. From that point on, everything was easy and downhill, really. There was one moment, I believe it, Dave, it was Thursday night when security was called to the 14th floor because the smoke alarm was set off in the hallway. And I quickly ducked into my room and avoided eye contact with anybody.
Yeah, I believe that was our only brush with the security, because I remember in years past them really cracking down on having doors open, and that was the only time I saw them on the 14th floor. After that, the doors went back open again, and everybody was flowing pretty freely, but nobody stood under the smoke detector.
Under the fire alarm.
Yeah, and we didn't hear anything else. We got just a mild mention at our wrap-up meeting on Monday about it, but it wasn't anything. So yeah, I was thrilled because I was worried about it because in years past, security had been on that floor and really patrolling it for any the doors being open at all. But yeah, it went well after that little thing on Thursday night. I was part of it too. I didn't even think twice about it. I was standing out there, and yeah, all of a sudden.
Yeah, here comes the maintenance guy to replace the smoke detector on the 14th floor because apparently it had been blown out. So that was a little bit of a bump, but other than that, we what else happened? Thursday night, Kevin Godby from Pipes Magazine invited myself and my wife to go with him and his girlfriend for a dinner celebrating their anniversary and 10 years of the Pipes Magazine radio show. So we went and did that on the strip. And then that was the last time I left the Palace Station until Monday. Didn't even go outside for like 48 hours at one point. Let's see what else. Friday, we got the ballroom and we met Dave and I and our wives, and we had one local friend come and help us set up all the banners and lay out the registration tables and stuff. And then I had a bit of a moment on we were opening the doors to the registration area and then the smoking room at 5 p.m. on Friday. And I had a bit of a moment when I looked outside because I saw people were lining up to get in, and we were, the bar wasn't quite ready and we weren't quite ready. So we were also holding everybody in anticipation of 5 o'clock. And I looked outside, and the line to register went all the way back down to the escalator in that second floor lobby area. And I thought to myself, holy shit, all these people are coming here because I said let's go have a pipe show, and Dave was dumb enough to volunteer with me. But yeah, then when our wives got everybody checked in, it was like an hour and a half of nonstop check-ins and everybody getting their badges and their bags and getting their drink coupons. And that second floor smoking lounge area stayed smoky. And from what I heard, I wasn't there because I'm a bit of a wimp and need to go to sleep occasionally. They had to throw people out at midnight and say, all right, you got to go, everybody out. So it was really nice to hear and see all those people there, and just everybody sitting around and smoking. And we had the collector's showcase going on, and there were some gorgeous pipes that were just laid out for people to look at. We'll start sharing more pictures of stuff, but I think I posted a picture of that real quick on my Facebook and Instagram. And I don't know how. So I think Friday by about 11:30 or so, I went up to check on the 14th floor and then went to bed. And I'm not sure how Dave did it, but I think Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, you got what, maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep each night.
Yeah, that's about the cumulative what I usually sleep in one night. Yeah, I'm an 8 or 9 hour a night guy, but yeah, we were after the smoking lounge closed at midnight. We brought the party upstairs. I know smoking pipes had been going all night Thursday and Friday. I think 4 o'clock. I think they were going till like 4 o'clock. But the last person usually left our hospitality suite at about 2:30. So yeah, I got to bed about 3, and I was up at 6:30. I think I set my alarm for 6:15 so I could get showered and ready to go. But yeah, it was fun. I really had a great time. I know we met or exceeded all our expectations, some by a lot, and I just had a great time. But the hospitality suite was busy and fun, and the 14th floor really worked out well. I mean, God, guys were just flowing, and we missed you, DDR, and we missed your tastings that you had planned. But thank you again for getting those pipes to us. That was a little bit of a we really wanted to hand those out at the show, and we did. So thank you for getting that to us.
Yes.
As I said, I really wanted to be there and help, it wasn't about me presenting anything, or I just wanted to be there and see the looks on people's faces and whatnot. I want to get to your silent auctions and the raffles and whatnot, but I got a couple other questions if I may. So let's start with like how many people showed up and what does that look like in the rooms? You know, Brian and I had talked before the show about some of his vision of what a successful pipe show is like. It's like there's always people at the tables, there's always people in the aisles, and that has uh, a large function of that is how many people actually came to the show and how entertaining was the show, by itself. And so, Brian, you want to talk about that a little bit? I'd like to give us some number. Give me the deets, man.
Yo, you want to know the deets? Here's how it go. Yo, I'm rolling dirty, man.
This is the cash left over from the raffles, and I was just counting it this morning and stuff like and the check-in stuff. And I was going to go to the bank today, but I was too tired.
Those are all $3 bills. Is that right?
Yeah.
Some of them are printed up as $7 bills. I don't understand that. But yeah, I'm still tired. So here's the details. One, we sold out the hotel. The hotel was completely booked on Friday and Saturday. That in combination with the concert that was going on down the street. On Thursday night and Friday night, in addition to the 2 hospitality suites that were basically junior suites that were open, there was 5 or 6 other rooms that were open, selling stuff out of the room, or just come hang out with us and sit and have a smoke. Admission wise, I think we registered, and I haven't taken the time to really go through it all exactly. We had 79 tables of pipes and tobacco stuff. So that's 79 times 8 feet, which is a big number that I can't do. It's like 560 something feet of pipes and tobaccos on display. About 110 to 115 exhibitors working the tables. And then we had another 210 to 220 walk-ins. And I'm not exactly, we're pretty close on those numbers to where I think at the peak it was about 330 people in the room, and in the 12,000 square foot room. The response to the 6 tables in the smoking area was great, because there was often times where there wasn't enough seats there and we couldn't add more because of flow traffic stuff. There were people lined up Saturday morning at 10 a.m. to get in, and they started lining up at like 9:30, 9:20 to be the first ones in at 10 o'clock. Behind the scenes, I had gotten bribed by 2 people that wanted early access to the show floor, and we denied it because rules are rules, and I couldn't accept a bribe, although the bribes obviously weren't big enough, because if it was really big, I would have accepted it. But no, so just by the fact that there were people that wanted to get on the floor early tells me that there was interest. It was busy all day, nonstop, from 10 a.m. Once people got in, the people that had checked in on Friday just showed their fancy little badges, and away they went. And then the people that hadn't picked up their badges and stuff had to check in and get their badge, and everybody got their drink ticket for the bar, and everybody got their tote bag, and off they went. At 5 o'clock, I mean, during the day, we had a schedule of announcements. There was a noon reminder announcement and thanking the sponsors, Virtual Pipe Club, and thanking and reminding people about if they had any raffle prizes to bring them up, because Dave was running the raffle, Dave was running the registration desk, and Dave was running the hospitality suite all at the same time. So he was quite busy. I thought there would be a lunchtime lull, so I pushed the first raffle back to 2 o'clock, but it was really hard to tell if there was a big lunchtime lull. There were people in the aisles the entire day. Then at 2 and 4 o'clock, we did raffles where you had to be present to win. Dave put together fun packages of items because instead of raffling off each item individually, Dave put together these packages. So I don't know. I know nothing, so I'll let Dave talk to you about the raffle stuff. But we did sell 2,000 tickets at $1 each. So we know that number exactly because we had one full roll of 2,000 tickets, and at the end of the show, we didn't have that roll anymore. And at 5 o'clock, I started yelling and screaming to get people off the show floor. And we had a security guard there that we set up stanchions so that the security guard was inside with the pipes. And I told them, anybody comes across that tape, shoot them, and then ask them what the hell they're doing. And that includes me because we had the room open for the dinner that night, and the smoking lounge was still open till midnight. What am I missing, Dave? Oh, we went and changed clothes real quick, and then our Saturday night dinner went off.
Let's talk.
Normally that dinner would be about 50 to 60 people,
and we ended up seating
85
85
and had to add a table.
Before we talk too much more about the dinner, which I'd love to hear more about, Dave, you want to talk to us about the raffle stuff, like what was being raffled off? And Rich Gallagher is over here on YouTube asking already who won the raffle prizes. So if you know and you think that's okay, I'd love to know who that was. But what did you have? What were we raffling?
Well, we were overwhelmed. Besides your two generous pipe sets, we were overwhelmed by pipes and stuff. We had 4 Peterson smoking pipes 20th anniversary black sandblast with silver accents. Nish, the Armenian piper, donated 6 Asikian pipes that included a little tamper. It was just beautiful package in a box. And so we had 6 of those. Plus we had the artisans where it came through with an awesome group of pipes, including Silver Gray. She was kind of our highlight at the end of the day. But my buddy Ray McDonald donated a Werner Mummert and the unsmoked Werner Mummert and a Costello to speak of the devil.
I thought she might as well come on with you guys there.
And so we would have been on mic giving away prizes for hours. So I bundled them as good as I could. It was overwhelming. Our buddy Mike Murphy from the Pipe and Tamper podcast donated a lot of his little pocket jars and a tobacco pack. We had a beautiful 2 Nuts at 2 Nuts 2. Tina Campbell donated a beautiful cob that she makes and some jewelry to go with it and a tin of McClellan's. But yeah, we were overwhelmed, and I think people went home really happy. I don't really have the names of who won, but my wife at Lori or Die on Instagram posted a lot of pictures. That's my buddy Charlie Atkins. He was a big help to me. He was a volunteer at the show. He basically sat with one of my good friends who's got some sight issues, and he sat with him pretty much all day helping him out. So Charlie won a couple of lots, raffle lots, and there was a lot of really happy people going home. Maybe next year we might have to do a 3rd pull, but thanks to Silver. Hers was the last pipe drawn before the sets.
Yes, Silver. What did you bring?
I donated a small 6-panel pipe, hand carved pipe that I made, and the people that won it were overjoyed. I took a picture of them, and Briar Heart, that was one of the last ones that I made, and this lavender sash thing. And I tried to text their picture to him, wouldn't work. She reached out to me by email. I mean, and then I actually won something, and it was a pipe that had a 9mm filter, and it wasn't something that I would smoke. So I passed it on to somebody, and they said, well, this isn't something that I would smoke. So they passed it on to another person who said, I love 9mm. It's all I smoke. So I am so overly grateful. So it was just, I was happy to spread the joy. As a pipe maker, I can crank out something for myself, but it's always nice to see other people's work. What's his name over in Bend? Paul Menard wasn't even at the show, and he sent 2 pipes. It's just the love of this Vegas show was contagious. Everybody was.
Yeah,
just-
I wonder if I could put you on the spot for a second.
Sure.
I'm trying to say this PC. So what did you think of the show? don't worry about hurting those guys' feelings. They got leather skin. Just
Yeah,
Yeah,
and don't worry where your table will be next time if you're not nice.
Okay, I'm feeling a little blackmail going on, but I think I know this was the best Vegas show ever for me personally, and Brad too. He's here as well. We just felt the energy, the way the tables were laid out, the way the red carpet on the way in, the dinner was fantastic. Just A+ all the way around. I can't wait for next year. It's that exciting.
So that leaves me with 2 takeaways from what Silver said. One, we shouldn't do next year because we can't beat this year. Or two, we got to come up with something fun. But the fun part of of doing the layout was, and this is a little inside baseball, but Silver's here, and Silver and I had a couple of emails back and forth prior to the show, and I had laid out the flow of the show so that there wasn't a chunk of pipe makers in one area and a chunk of estate people in one area and a chunk of this and a chunk. I specifically spread people around, and Dave and I did this. It took us 3.5, 4 hours on Zoom one day, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
it was close to a 4-hour meeting, but yeah, it was fun. It was kind of fun to, get everybody spaced out, and yeah, I think it worked out well. I didn't hear anybody.
I think you guys may have a future career as wedding planners then. Just if you can do that.
I am ordained, and I'm available for bar mitzvahs and bris and weddings. But
there's no way anybody's going to let you do a bris on anybody there.
I wouldn't trust me either. But so Silver and I were going back and forth because she kept thinking that there was another table that she wanted, and I kept telling her, no, this is where you want to be. But I wanted the front 4 tables that were facing the primary part of the room. I wanted to show the diversity of the pipe world. And I wanted to show, I knew that there were some exhibitor, I knew there were some people that did a little bit better displaying of stuff like Silver does. Nothing against you, Brad, but your wife's much more talented in doing displays, and she's better looking. But we wanted that, and we wanted it because it was all being filmed on YouTube from in front of the room. So that was a little inside baseball, and we wanted to make sure that everybody was, had access to all the walkways. And in reality, what happens is, from a trade show standpoint, anybody that's gone to a trade show, or if you go to a grocery store, you go to the beginning of the aisle, you look down, and if you don't see anything that excites you, you don't go down that aisle, you skip it. So we wanted something down each aisle that excited everybody. So that was the idea behind the layout, and that just created more commerce and diversity.
So my commission check is in the mail for the publicity.
your table might be the same next year.
Ooh, even better.
And then the best part was, and I don't know the young man's name, and this is one of those things where I'm going to say you shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do this. The 2 pipe sets that were part of the early registration raffle. This is the young guy that won the Janos Kokinos set. And I wasn't up there when it happened, but my wife said that he was so overwhelmed by winning that 2 pipe set because it was his first, real artisan pipes, and he's, a young guy on a budget, and it was really cool that he got, just by going online and registering early, he won 2 handmade pipes with 6 stems. And that was probably way over his total budget for the show. And then there's the 4 pipe set, and my friend Kurt from Columbus, Ohio won it. So we know who those people are.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So before we get into any more of the wonderful, I want to talk about the dinner, I want to talk all that kind of stuff. I want to open it up to questions from everybody here in the meeting. And that includes the people over there on Facebook and YouTube. If you've got questions for Dave or Brian or Silver, just go ahead and put it in the chat there, and I'll pass it along. But I want to open it up to the rest of the group there. Do me a favor, that hand thing, that always helps. And we'll get your questions to Dave and Brian. Or Dave and Brian. Those are real people. Yeah.
I'm looking at pictures. Don't bother me.
One thing I might ask before the questions come through, how many who were here today went to the Vegas show? So Ray was there, Bud was there, Sergio was there. And Alvin was there. Yeah, I think there were a few more. Here is the best thing that I heard about the Vegas Pipe Show. And of course, it's a personal thing. A couple of people posted on that Facebook group that they had gone to the Vegas Pipe Show and met some of the people that they'd been seeing, in our meetings, our live streams, and they turned out to be just as nice, just as wonderful people as they see on the screen there. And they thought, oh, these guys from Virtual Pipe Club are really, really nice people. And I think that has made my heart so warm. Really, really love to hear that. But let me put it back to you guys and any questions that you might have. And all I got to do is find my little arrow there. Perry, yes.
I did have a question, Brian. If you could call out one thing as the most successful thing of the event, what would that be? It could be one thing you would want to do differently next year. What would that be?
The most successful thing is a two-parter. The hotel giving us the 14th floor to pretty much do what we wanted and create the room hopping and the smoke-filled rooms. And then having that smoking lounge area on the second floor, in the ballroom open from 5 to midnight on Friday and from 10 a.m. to midnight on Saturday. Because every time I turned and looked and saw those tables full of people just hanging out, smoking and sharing, and I sat down at a couple tables, a couple times at the tables. That to me was the most successful part was the fact that we all gathered as pipe smokers and hung out together and shared and talked, and not one crossword was heard by anybody. Just to see that many people again sitting together smoking a pipe, that was the highlight for me. What would we do again? There's a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff that I didn't think of that we'll do better, but nobody will really notice too much of that. There was a couple of signs that I bought that worked out to be pretty stupid. You know, but I think it was Thomas Edison said, no, I didn't figure out, before I made a light bulb, I found 1,000 ways to not make a light bulb. So yeah, we tried some stuff and it didn't work out. Yeah, I guess just some little behind the scenes stuff that I now know that will be better in the future. Cutoff dates for refunds and cancellations, because that really caused some problems for us. And then those 2 entry signs that I did that didn't work out right. So we'll be reprinting those in a different format.
Couple of questions that came through on the YouTube thing. Perry, did you have a follow-up that you wanted to ask?
No, that was good. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's see. Danny Gundy asked, what countries were represented at the show, it being an international show?
That's easy. I know them because it's
wonderful.
Besides the United States, we had Japan, Australia, mi amigo de Mexico, aquí, ahora, sí. Canada, the UK, Denmark by two different ways, Germany, and then of course Greece, and then Janos from the island of Cyprus, and Marek from the Czech Republic, who gave me a bottle of whiskey that is really high octane. And I think that's it. I think there was 13 other countries.
Brazil was also there.
You're right. Brazil and Chile. Sorry, Martello was there from Martello Pipes was there from Brazil, and we had a Chilean visitor.
Yeah, Jose was there.
Jose.
Yeah. That was, oh yeah, the whiskey from Marek. I was wondering what he's going to do that. So he had messaged me because we were going to do a whiskey tasting in our hospitality suite. And trust me, I'm so glad that I had delayed ordering all those bottles because I'm not going to drink them. But Marek said he was going to bring that to be his donation to the whiskey tasting. And I was like, okay, what are you going to do with this now? So I'm glad it went to you there, because I can think of nobody who needs it more than
I thought it went. I'm not. Let me say I'm not a big whiskey drinker, and I've already enjoyed it because it's already open. But I thought it went to me because of the name of it.
Is that your James Bond name?
Yes, that's Goldcock, Mr. Goldcock, please, Mr. James Goldcock. Yeah.
I don't even know where to go after that one.
I can bring up something. Marek also, I don't know if everyone got a chance to see these, but Marek also did a deck of cards with different pipe makers. Brad ended up with the King of Hearts, and of course, moi. I said, oh, you made me look 20 years younger. Thank you. They're all Stefan Mueller pictures. And then they had an artist rendering, but he only printed 30 decks. And I said, well, that's not fair, because a lot of people are going to want these. And there's 52 carvers from around the world. And it was just really lovely. I could keep going. There's Warner. But it was a fabulous bonus. And he went through all that trouble to put this together. And I told him at the next show, he better have a bunch available because everybody's going to want them.
That may be the answer to this next question. Danny over there on YouTube asked another question. He said, what was the rarest thing that anybody would see at the show? Pipes, tobacco, deck of cards. What else was new and rare? And anybody can answer that one.
Smoking
Smoking
pipes had a
Nord
Nord
or
or
two,
two,
and that
and
that
that
caused some
caused some
stirs with some of
stirs
the with some of the
with some of
folks
the
when they
folks
picked
when
it
they
up and
picked it
saw
up
the
and saw
price
the price
tags at
tags at $10,000.
$10,000.
Yeah.
Um,
We had a
we had a
yearling
yearling
collector
that
came. He's a
He's a
very
very
high-end
high-end
collector, and he was very generous with his time passing his pipes around. So a lot of people got to see some really York Vit camp came, and that was I was very happy to see him because he's very influential, and I'm hoping next year we'll get a lot more European collectors. But he was very generous with passing his pipes around. I know he was passing around in the smoking pipes room on Thursday and our hospitality suite on Saturday or Sunday night. He was also showing them off. Rick Brown and Brian Burke had a table full of very high-end barlings and all sorts of stuff. And that's something you're only going to see at a pipe show.
There was a
there was
very
a
rare
very rare
sighting of me at a pipe show at 7:45 in the morning. I don't get up early for anything. No, in fact, that was funny because Jorg, I just happened to be standing out the door as Jorg had his pipe bag with him, and he was just, here's the pipes I brought to travel with. Here's two Bow Nords, here's two Nana Iversons, here's two Sixton, here's a couple of Yes Conowitz. I'm looking at it going, that bag, yeah. But he was freely passing them around the suite, around the couches there, so people got a chance to see those.
Awesome. So, says I'm muted. What else? Any other questions from the group here? Well, in that case, let's talk about food, man. Let's talk about the dinner.
So the dinner was a lot of fun. Probably it's interesting. I've never really planned a big dinner like that. I've planned smaller cocktail receptions and stuff, but never a full blown plate, a dinner where you want to appease everybody. So I was a little worried about picking the food. So Dave and I were having a chat, and I said, Dave, I got it. We give our wives the menus, and our wives pick out what they want. And then we come up with we had to compromise a couple things here and there. And then that way, if anybody comes to us and complains about the food or the choices that were offered, we just direct them to our wives, and my wife would just smack them. That'd be the end of that argument, real quick. So, no, and I really can't say enough about the amount of work that our wives did running the registration and check-in and dealing with all that, while they were supposed to be there having fun in Vegas. And then the staff at the Palace Station was great. The food was good and warm and hot. And I think there was one point where the buffet ran out of salad dressing for a minute. But they were right on top of it. Nobody ever, anybody that went back for seconds, there was always plenty of food, and the desserts were good, which is what I care about. The coffee was decent. Nate King has an interesting, he's had an interesting life growing up in racing. And then, so his little presentation was just primarily to focus on how he made and worked on very fine-tuned, highly detailed cars where fabrication of a part might be to a thousandth of an inch, and where you're trying to lose as much weight as possible. So they're worried about every gram. He went on working on those to now working on pipes, which are also done in measurements of a thousandth of an inch, and they're finely tuned. The difference is the car stuff was to go fast. The pipe stuff is to make us slow down. So it was really cool to see that. He brought some pictures of, you know, little baby Nate King in the in the racing world, and then some pipe stuff. Um, one of the benefits to having a younger crowd at this pipe show than at some others was when we were having technical problems with getting the video projector to work. There was a 25-year-old nearby from the guys from the Get Piped podcast that were able to hop over there and fix it for us real quick, because you know, those young kids and all those electronics, what we were goofing around with for 15 minutes, they walked up and said, no, you got to do this, boom, 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 and it was working. I was like, thanks. Great.
Okay, that's definitely something to bear in mind next year. And I want to get to next year. We have about 15 minutes left in the meeting today. But before we do that, I didn't ever ask this question, and I didn't see it on your agenda, so maybe it didn't happen. A lot of trade shows, even some of the pipe shows I've seen before, have events and activities for spouses and even attendees who want to get away from the show or something. Did you guys have anything like that this year?
No, there's the entire city of Las Vegas for the spouses or the people that don't want to be at the pipe show. Go have fun. We didn't have any educational seminars or side seminars, because to me, the important part of a pipe show is us getting together, us getting a chance to talk, us getting a chance to visit, us getting a chance to meet new people and to see and maybe, you know, talk to a pipe maker and get to know them and get to buy their product directly from them, instead of just a cold hard retail experience. Yeah. It's not, to me, yes, the educational part does happen, but it happens naturally in that environment where you walk up to somebody who's got an expertise in Sheratons, and they may show them and lay them out. Dave brought a collection of Costellos in a little display that was just incredible. And if you wanted to learn about Costellos, you could ask him about them, and he'd tell you about it. That stuff happens naturally the minute you get people together. And to me, the pipe show is all about gathering together.
So let's talk about next year. And I'm going to bring Dave back on the screen with you here, because I'd love to hear what both of your ideas are for the 2023 Las Vegas International Pipe Show.
Dave, you want to do it again? Are you there?
Dave quit.
All right. Well, then it's all you, brother.
Yeah. So we're already talking to the hotel about dates. We're already talking to the hotel about we need more rooms. And we're already talking about possibly putting a cap on the amount of tables that we can fit in, so that we really don't have to modify our program too much, or what we've got. But yeah, it's just basically the same thing. We'll tweak a few things, and I'm sure Dave and I will come up with a new surprise. I think the tote bags were fun this year. Maybe we'll do something different for next year.
So let me ask it this way. Because I know that you and I had the three of us had some conversations early on, and a lot of stuff that I brought up, you said, no fucking way, that's not going to happen. But there's, because that's when, I'm the troublemaker, apparently. But I'm curious about stuff that you thought of, maybe you rejected, maybe you thought, well, we're not ready for that yet. But next year's a whole new year. So what are some of the things we didn't do this year that we might reconsider?
We're still not doing dancers in the middle of the show floor. Not doing it. Don't care how much you bribe me.
Yeah, that's actually
I don't know.
That was actually a real suggestion from me.
Listen, I only lie to women, and so far all I can see is Silver, so she's the only one that's in trouble. I think there's some stuff that we're toying around with. You know, maybe another little event on Friday night. In reality, we have to make sure, you know, financially, here's where Dave and I stand. We're hoping that the show pays for our hotel rooms and the hospitality suite. Other than that, you know, our transportation and most of our meals is on us. We would really like the show to be able to get bigger and better. So we've got to put some investment into some of the web-based stuff so that it works. So that the web, so that the online purchase process works better than clicking on my PayPal link. You know, there's some stuff that we've got to really look at, and maybe a real email account instead of my personal Hotmail and Dave's Gmail. Because stuff like that starts to, once we start gathering information and data, then we can really start to build it, and you know, maybe have a you know, sign up here, get your email to us, and you get the open dates 3 days before we post it on the website or the social media for hotel reservations. You know, stuff like that. So I think Dave and I are going to digest. The first thing we've got to see is from the hotel, how many rooms can they give us, and how many and what prices are they looking at, and what dates. You know, we want to stay in that later part of October, but we want to make sure that the prices are right. And we're waiting on that. And other than that, I'd, you know, maybe put a few more tables in the smoking area, or try to rework the smoking area so that it's a little more advantageously used. If we get an increase in tables, yeah, if we get an increase in table participants, well, we got to figure out how to get the space for the public too. And the Palace Station, that for those of you that were there, that's their entire meeting and ballroom space. We have it all.
Oh,
So that's it. And they've only got 525 rooms. If we ask them for 200, they're going to look at us and go, "You want 40% of our hotel? You're crazy. Go away." Yeah.
One more thing. So we've already had a question like this coming through from the live streaming group. We haven't talked about the new generation of smokers that came to the show, and what you think that might mean for the future of pipe shows.
I think Dave pipe in on this too, but I think I heard from about 75 different people who said this was their first pipe show ever. And when you look at almost 1/4 of your attendance is brand new to pipe shows, I mean, that was huge and exciting. You know, nothing against seeing people, you know, seeing your old friends over and over again, but from an exhibitor standpoint, and from a pipe show host standpoint, you need new people, because otherwise you just gentrify right into invisibility, and off you go.
I think it was a great introduction for those people who actually, you know, I agree. I heard from just dozens of people that this was their first pipe show, and you know, they got to taste what the shows used to be like years ago, where you could smoke pretty much anywhere. But I think I think through the social media studio tables, that introduced a lot of people online to the show that I'm hoping will come to the show in years to come, because I think that really worked out well. I've been watching some of the videos and some of the podcasts, and it worked out really well. The backdrop for them of the show, for the video part, it looked good and it sounded good, you know, because I was worried it was going to be too noisy, but it really wasn't. It was just a great balance of hearing it in the background, seeing it in the background, and then the podcast too. I listened to a few, and it was fun to hear that background of the show, but the content just came through clear. So yeah, we were glad we did that, and man, I think that's going to bring a lot of people in, because once you see it, it's like, I want to be there.
Yeah, that boy, Friday night, I think Dave, I think I turned to you Friday night at like 8 o'clock, and we looked out over the smoke filled room, and I looked at it and I said, I think I said at that point, I think I said, holy shit, we did it.
Yeah, I know it was a great feeling too, because this is what we wanted, and it was really turning out well, but and everything really turned out almost perfectly.
It was funny when Jennifer, the lady from the Palace Station, that's the head of catering and banquets, who was there almost the entire time of our show and was on top of things. Like 3 days before the show, 3 days before, right as we got there, I said, "Oh, we need ashtrays at the dinner," and she said, "Excuse me, you're going to smoke at the dinner?" I said, "Yeah." So welcome to a dinner where you can ash in your salad when you're done with it and go get dessert. Yeah. And let me just clarify what Xavier said over there on YouTube, because I'm watching. The pipe industry is dying and you're limiting the amount of tables. Question. We are not limiting the amount of tables. There is a physical space that is available at the Palace Station, and that's the amount of space we have. Don't tell anybody, okay? Shh, everybody listen. Shh, don't tell anybody. I've already visited a couple other hotel properties that are much bigger, but it's got to be financially viable. And the pipe industry is not dying. The pipe industry is going through a transformation of and this is the technical side, and this is what I argued in front of the board of directors of McBaron. We're going from a high volume mass market item to from a high volume, low margin mass market item to a low volume, high margin luxury lifestyle item. And the perfect example is my great grandfather, who died in 1986, 86, 87, at the age of 91. He smoked a 12-ounce can of Granger Rough Cut a week. So we're going from him smoking a 12-ounce can a week to a pipe smoker who I absolutely love, who is smoking 3 bowls a week and might go through 10 grams or 12 grams of tobacco in a week, which is about a quarter of an ounce or a half ounce. So it's not dying, it's changing. And it's changing for the better, because we are smoking better pipes, we're smoking better tobaccos, and we are enjoying them better because we know more about it. So that's what I was just saying. But yeah, if we go much over 110, 112 tables, we'd have to really reconfigure the format of the program that we just put on last week. So that's all I'm saying.
There's plenty of room to grow from 79 tables. If we go 10% more next year.
I was saying to Xavier that we also know that there were a lot of vendors who normally come to shows who didn't come to Vegas this year, and it's almost certainly because they were just waiting to see whether or not this was going to be a bust or a boom. And it's definitely a boom. So I predict that there will be a lot more vendors at next year, depending on how you can fit them in there. So I get that.
Yeah.
This is weird.
There will be more international vendors next year.
International. That's right. Probably a lot more international vendors. I've spoken to a few of the people that we've had on here as special guests, and some of the people that I've grown to appreciate as friends, and they're all like, I would love to be there. I think it's great. This year I'm not so sure, and I made my investment in going to Chicago, or I made my investment in going to Capital City or something, and I'll bet they're going to change their their allocation next year to come to Vegas.
And we really just signed the contract on the Friday of
Memorial Day weekend at the Chicago Pipe Show. So we put this. I put Dave through hell, having to deal with me and having to deal with me quickly. This was 4.5 months.
Yeah, well, just imagine what it would have been like if you had said yes to the dancers.
And next year we don't have to build a website and come up with all
stuff. We've got it now. We just have to modify and tweak and make it even better and load pictures on it and stuff like that. So
Absolutely. Well, listen, we are at the end of our meeting time this week. We are working on another special guest for November 20th. It's becoming a weird couple of months here. I'm going to be traveling. Amu, who is going to be a regular guest host going forward, but she's all booked up for the month of November as well. So our next meeting is scheduled for bearing in mind the confirmation that we have with our special guest, but that's our plan, is November 20th. And I won't tell you who it is until we get that confirmation, but it's a fabulous person, highly recommended by Tim, somebody that I've met in the past. I think he's a fantastic artist, and you'll all be very excited to see him and his work. In the meantime, given the fact that I have, by the way, after my son came down with COVID, so did my daughter. So I had 2 kids in a house with COVID. Fortunately, my wife and I, we're doing fine. We haven't gotten anything. I think the virus has just given up on us, so it's not going to come back. But it proves that it's still out there, and it's flu season coming up. And I'm just being, I'm a full-time dad and grandfather, so this is just my part of my personality that comes out. I want you to take care of yourselves because I love you. And so do the things you need to do, and I'll see you on the 20th.
I'd like to make a quick shout out.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Dave and Brian for all their efforts. I mean,
Wait. I
they
gotta put.
took the baton and carried it beautifully, and looking forward to see what they do next year.
I wanted to bring you on screen there.
That means a lot. We were thanked up and down. I just turned it on and said, "Hey, thank you for coming, because if you're not here, this show doesn't happen." So it was just the collaborative effort between our vendors, our show, just people that came, and Brian and I, and
You're both
we were overwhelmed, and I can't wait to do it again next year.
Oh, good.
I can wait a few weeks, please.
Wait. I really enjoyed. I was my first pipe show. I really enjoyed it. Just wanted to mention that.